Ladies and gentlemen, it's your brother Bolo VNR, and Oral Tracey brought up a very, very important topic that I think Jamaicans have been, dodging. They have been dodging, ladies and gentlemen, and it's only because the women are under fire in this one. Yes, I said it. Ladies, the Jamaican women overall, this is something that we can put a broad brush and say, based off the numbers, it is sad, but Jamaican women, y'all is wanted in this one, boy. Let's listen to Oral Tracey about jacket and jacket giving. This was the first video that he put out. I'm only gonna play a small part of it for context purposes. Let's go.
They come to him, that is almost half. And the man they come to test, a jacket them get. Also, importantly, a nice little nuance to the argument when point out
Velma,
that
how you doing?
most of these tests were
salute to Velma.
I say, them get jacket. Them never call no name and them never going on no detailed. But apparently there's this private company where 876 DNA, apparently them in Jamaica now them offer services are doing DNA tests to verify, the veracity of parenthood. So it was an interview with, I think, the CEO of the company there. And he revealed, say, watch a man. This thing is much more widespread than we all think. I think he used the percentage of 47% of all of the cases that come to him. That is almost half. And the man they come to test, a jacket them get. Also, importantly, a nice little nuance to the argument when point out that most of these tests were instigated by grandmothers of the men, grandmothers, mothers, sisters, aunts, relatives of the men who tell them families say, watch out. I'm not sure that pick me up here go and do some DNA test. And as a result of that, almost 50%, almost 1 in 2, almost half of them and when them go to the DNA test, with the picnic where them a mind and feces for them, 1 in 2 of the picnic them and not for them. I remember when we do the initial video, I think the figure was closer to like 1 in 3, And we say, oh, well, this alarming already. Well, more recent data shows that now is more 1 in 2. And you don't stop this up. Almost like a big coincidence now, this video with this foreign virgin now. I talk about the rate of paternity fraud amongst the various nationality them. And right on cue. Alright, listen to him.
The research found that 30% of Nigerian men are fathering children that aren't theirs. Nigerian women rank second highest on paternity fraud in the whole world. And guess who ranks number 1? Jamaican women. Jamaican women have a paternity fraud cuckoldry rate of 62%.
Embarrassing. He needs some milk.
Something not right, my wisdom warriors. Something is not right. Tell about them.
What can go so? What can go so? What can go so?
Listen to him.
The research found that 30% of Nigerian men are fathering children that aren't theirs. Nigerian women rank second highest on paternity fraud in the whole world. And guess who ranks number 1? Jamaican women. Jamaican women have a paternity fraud cuckoldry rate of 62%. You're more likely to get someone else's kid than your own if you're banging up a Jamaican girl.
62% female. So better I don't cut and slice and dice it, people. Make me be honest about it, Can we be honest about it? Can we do the first video? A lot of people never want to be honest about it,
So let us be honest about it, ladies and gentlemen, because it's really out of hand. Now, this is all angles I'm going to play now. They actually put up a documentary about the individual that has the paternity company. Althea, how you doing? Welcome, right? So let's listen in to this.
Has a special report.
Oh, my bad, y'all.
Oh my god, my classmate.
My bad. Don't tell me that I messed up. Did I mess up? Looks like I did. Wait a minute. Alright. Give me a second, guys. Kinda messed up there. It's an easy fix. Just a slip of the finger. But this 62% of the women in Jamaica is giving men jacket. That is out of control. That is wild. All right. That is alarming. All right. No matter how you want to slice it. If it was us, the men, that was doing some stuff like that, and the roles was reversed, man, man, listen, the women would be taking our heads off about that. So I really want to hear from the women in the comment section about this. All right, because this is a very serious situation. You're talking about men giving their life to a situation, raising these children up, thinking it's their own, going to work every day, putting their life in danger, pressing to make ends meet, the emotional and physical stress of it all, only to find out years later. Sometimes they don't find out and they're not here anymore, thinking that they're the essence of them is being carried on with this child. You know how important a child is to a man? That's him leaving the earth while his seed is still roaming this earth and making him proud. There's a certain level of pride where that is concerned. So it is the ultimate betrayal for a woman to give a man a jacket. The ultimate betrayal. This is not no small thing. This is not no little thing. This is a big deal. All right, I'm just putting the overlay up because, fair use, but let's continue.
She might be fooling around with two men. She go play hokey pokey to find out which one is the better daddy, which one is the better candidate. So it's like Russian roulette. Is it Tom, Dick, or Harry? Which is the better father? So it doesn't really matter who is the biological dad, especially in this economy. Like, people can hardly afford to live.
Paternity fraud. A mother telling a man he fathered a child knowing it's not true. In Jamaican, it's called giving a man jacket. The word alone stirs up strong emotions.
I think it's diabolical the way women just throw kids to men who aren't really the father. And I think they should go under harsh punishment.
And yet, it seems widespread.
Person them forgot my friend. Person.
47% of Jamaicans who used the services of the company 876 DNA test in 2024 received an adverse result. In fact, the crude percentage is higher. 52% of all DNA tests at the company returned adverse results. Some were done by Jamaicans in the diaspora and could not be assigned a parish, and so the company adjusted the numbers down. Either way, that's an adverse result for 1 in every 2 tests.
Well, the number is extremely high. So we've heard higher numbers before, but I think that this is the closest to an accurate record that we probably have of the issue in Jamaica because of the scope and operation of 876 DNA tests. So we have 64 locations across the island. We're in all 14 parishes and most major townships. The people who do DNA testing in our facilities come from all over Jamaica.
Dewar is CEO of 876 DNA Test. The tests done were not just by fathers or presumed fathers, but also by relatives.
Paternity testing is when you test a child against a father. Relationship testing, you can test an aunt or an uncle. That category of test is called an avuncular DNA test to determine whether or not the child is the father's child. So you test the father's brother or sister. You can test the father's mother or father, which will be the child's grandparent. You can do a grandparent test. You can do siblingship tests. So the adverse result is a catch-all phrase we use to say we expected you to be related and you're not.
It's important to explain that this doesn't mean that 1 out of every 2 men in Jamaica is the victim of paternity fraud. It means that 1 out of every 2 tests done by this company had an adverse result. But there has been intense, widespread reaction.
So people, 1 out of every 2 women that do a test at this paternity give the man a jacket, That is 50% of the women give the men jacket. In Jamaica, this is a good number for actually gauge it off. You guys are the GOAT of giving man jacket. Nigeria come second and only come first. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, listen.
To the new data.
Sometimes them don't really know. Which is some of them know, them wicked enough, them know. Which is some innocent, them don't know, say, is the next man's child. To when the child start to grow now and start to show features, then them realize, so there is a problem is here.
You know what, say, I don't agree with that lady, yeah? None of them not innocent. You were sleeping around with several different men. And say when I sleep around with several different men. You never went asleep and the man sleep with you. You were awake and you were engaged. So you know that there's a possibility because you did have unprotected sex with the man or any type of sex. Condom can burst. You know so there's a possibility, say. Is a next man child. Right? And with that knowledge, you proceeded to not tell the man, say, it's a possibility it's not your child. You understand? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Do whatever the crunch you want.
Diabolical is the word. Don't forget prison.
Delicious, crispy.
Prison, don't forget.
It's difficult to get people directly involved to speak.
We've been speaking so far with over a dozen people, either directly or indirectly affected by paternity fraud. No one wants to speak about this because of how difficult a subject this is to confront. We finally found someone who has agreed to share his story with us, who has been directly affected by paternity fraud. We're now on our way to St. Thomas to speak with him.
Driving to St. Thomas typifies driving anywhere in Jamaica. Parts of the road smooth and developed, much of it bumpy and uncomfortable. Almost as uncomfortable as openly speaking about being a jacket in Jamaica. Port Morant, on the outskirts of the capital Morant Bay, is the setting for our story. It's where Errol Scott grew up. He always felt he was different from his 4 brothers and 1 sister.
I recognize I was short. Most of my brothers then were tall because mommy has 7 of us, 1 girl, 6 boys. I was the 3rd boy for mommy, but when I discovered the first child for my father, I recognized that I was not from this stock.
He ignored the whispers he was a jacket all his life until he was 40 years old in the year 2000. By now, the man who fathered him had died. He was and...
Hear all them something you know, people. Hear all them something. When the man reached 40,
still is an ordained pastor.
One Friday, I went to Morant Bay. My wife was working at Morant Bay Parish Library then, and she worked with a woman by the name of Yvonne. I don't remember her surname. And Yvonne said to me, "Oh, you come into the library?" And I was calling you today, Scotty, and you never answer. So something clicked in my mind. Could this be the brother they said that looks like me?
But he still had to be sure. This man just so happened to be religious as well.
He invited me, that young man, because I knew him from Norris, you know.
The man who you found out was your brother?
Yes, man, I knew him from Norris.
You knew him from before?
Yes.
Long time?
Yeah, but 2 man look like man. Me never put it, say he could be my brother.
Wow.
So when he called me now, he said he's having a convention. And where he was pastoring is a place in St. Thomas, right in St. Thomas here.
So this man himself is also a pastor?
Yes, he's a pastor.
The man's sister used to watch Mr. Scott preach for years.
They used to see me come and preach at churches, and they would say, "Jesus Christ, what a man look like, Daddy."
Then came an invitation to speak at a convention.
When he invited me to the convention, something clicked in my spirit. Is it that he's inviting me for his wife and children to see me and to ask some thought-provoking question? After the meeting, we exchanged number, and I was saying to myself, why he's so interested in getting my number, but I didn't say anything to him. But Bvrfam then Giovanni, trust me, the Holy Spirit told me, this is your brother.
This is your brother?
Yes. So when I got home, as I got in, my phone rang, and he said, "Mr. Scott." I said, "What, Mr. Coleman?" He said, "Me have something to tell you, you know." And I prayed to him in saying, "You want to tell me so we are brother?" And he started crying.
He started to cry?
He started to cry.
What was your reaction?
Well, tears well up my eyes too.
He had always dismissed the idea that his biological father was not the man who raised him until now. He immediately inquired whether he was still alive.
But I have to pause right there, so because you see, the emotional trauma which I was talking about, these are grown men that was brought to tears because of the wickedness of a woman that gave the man jacket. 2 brothers that was supposed to connect with each other throughout them lifetime was robbed of the opportunity, time that cannot be given back. A father that was robbed of the opportunity of knowing his son. A man took care of this man thinking it was his son. You see how many lives are affected by a woman that give a man jacket? Them figure prison. I mean, now take it back. I love when about to figure prison where do it knowingly. When you figure prison. Wickedness.
I say, man, that is a live man. And my sister, them may want trouble, because them say, it took me a long time, if you go and trouble the man. But to me see, I'm say, a death stab, papa. Me say, fly or fly low. Me have to carry in the family.
They planned to meet up the following day. Mr. Scott didn't sleep that Friday night.
I don't think I slept as I normally do for the entire night because the anticipation was great. So when I got up the Saturday morning and prepared meal, the time he told me that he was coming, he came about 2 minutes after the time. And when he drove up with him, he said, "Come, Mr. Coleman. I said, I hope he'd cook food early, man, And the way I said, man, and the way he laugh and talk, he say, yes, this is my stock.
Because finally, he saw his features in someone else's face. It was more of the same when he reached the house in Cheswick.
And my sisters actually saw me. And the way they laugh, the joy, the vibes, the camaraderie, you can see that it's close. Man, it's like they knew me a long time. They never even want me to leave the yard.
And then he met his father.
I can't recall seeing him from a distance, but the first time in close proximity, and I hugged. And he didn't cry, but I cried.
You cried?
And when I look at him, just how my nose stay, the way he laugh.
I was just about to say that. You can see the distinction in the nose, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I feel him daddy that. You can see it.
The way he see things, I said, this is my father.
But then, a myriad of questions swirled in his head, along with a myriad of emotions, not all pleasant.
Having hugged him and felt elated, and like that feeling a bit, I start to think now, like I feel like a slight anger. Like, what would it like? Because my brother started to tell me how he taught him to swim and to catch fish together. And I was imagining, what would it be like to be brought up with him?
So,
I want to really pay attention to what the man is saying. At 40 plus years old, this man found himself being jealous of his siblings because he was robbed of the opportunity of having his father teaching him how to swim. Simple little things like that you take for granted. You see how important those things are for a child to have their father in their lives. And a lot of you women out there, not just in Jamaica, rob the men them of these opportunities. Wicked. Forgot prison. Now stop saying it.
Why did his father stay away for 40 years?
My father told me that my mother said, leave the boy alone and don't mess up the boy head because it happened a long time already. Make it just slide. So my father apologized to me, say, I could have come and see you a long time, but my mother, can't let me tell you, my mother wasn't a simple woman. My mother, she rules men. Like my mother run things in a relationship. Yeah. If my mother said, this is B, you can't tell her when you say, I see.
Alright, I'm glad Sam said that. You see what she wicked? She decide, how selfish can you be? She decides, say, me know what is best for this man, this young man. Which clearly she didn't. She did not know. She was selfish. She was thinking about herself and how things would look for her. Because whatever the case might be, them sleep together and she have somebody else. And whatever the case might be, she's selfish. She was thinking about herself. Prison. Wickedness.
Having gone through the euphoria of meeting his father, he felt anger building, but not toward any of his parents.
No, just anger within myself. It wasn't directed to anybody. Because having spoke to my father at length, asked him why I'm just knowing you. And he explained, I believe he not coming to see me was really justifiable, knowing that my mother, because my mother would have even told him, I'd do something to him for him not to come. I wouldn't say I was angry at mommy, but I was disappointed at my mother.
So, what was the story of how his mother and his father got together while she was in another relationship?
My father and the man.
Well, there you go. She was in another relationship and slept with the man. Hey, boy.
With whom my mommy lived, the father of my other sibling. We were very good friends. But him couldn't dance. And my father was a rootsman, dancer, innovative, and he was a mason by profession.
You guys.
Hey, may I tell you, so you see, us kids, especially boys, we make excuses for our mother's failure because of the love for her. But this lady slept with another man while with a man. And you hear the first thing him say? his father was a dancer and did Flashy and Ray. But hold on. We really go on. Alright, you sleep with him at one thing. But you get pregnant for him. Right? So for wipe shame out of your eyes now. You decide say, oh, the thing gone too far now, man. Enough of the man, hey, a lot of the men are afraid to speak the truth. I am not. I'm going to give you the unadulterated truth, unfiltered truth. Praise the them figure. That me I tell you.
And apparently, my mother now is a sporter. So my mother used to go to dance. And I was told that he was the one to whom that man delegate the responsibility to take my mother. So him and my mother ride, go dance.
So Mr. Scott trust Mr. Cole.
Yes,
wife
that's
go
what I'm
dance.
saying. I mean, wife then.
Was his girlfriend?
Girlfriend. So like
my virgin, say nice.
Virgin man, like in Rome, but if that never happened, I would not be here.
Wow. The man, this a story I get more diabolical. So the man virgin used to carry female like a dance and female father sleep with him virgin woman. And the man trust him. I will say he was definitely fool to trust anybody for taking woman go dance. I will say that. However, he had so much trust in his wife or his girlfriend at the time, and she totally betrayed that trust to the point where she has another child by another child outside of that relationship. Wow. And never told this man, this brother right here. Wow.
Here's how it happened.
Him say, John, you know, so no woman a Chiswick where you love. And my father in response say, you me love. You know, so me know me on camera, but me have the same say, so I came peace and I get me. And he must say, no, man, me get up on bed, man. And I say, then if mama said to you, are you me love? I want to come over from came peace and I was like, that the response we want, you know, so mama like a long time. So it was a big laugh for the family.
But at the time, it was no laughing matter when the man who raised Errol found out Errol was not his biological son. Following her infidelity, his mother's partner, Mr. Scott, was determined to harm the man who impregnated his spouse. But his mother made them relocate from Chiswick, where they were originally from, to Port Morant. None of the children knew what had happened.
Because having left Chiswick, it safeguarded my father. Because I heard the man say he's going to kill my father, you know, for what he did.
But that's Mr. Scott.
Betrayal of trust, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's move on to Maverick. Maverick. So, all angles, I guess they had their dialogue about that particular special that they showed. I don't have time to show all of that because this reaction is going to lead into 30 plus minutes. So let's hear what Maverick had to say about the reaction from the All Angles team in this one. In regards to this is a crisis in Jamaica. 1 in 2 of the women in Jamaica giving the men them jacket. This is a crisis. Let's hear what he has to say.
Here you two probably the Maverick up on the trail again. Still, with the best and most credible opinion, still fair and fearless analysis. And finally, we've had an in-depth discussion on national television in Jamaica about the crisis of Jamaican women giving the most jacket in the world. One lady was a professor of gender, sexuality and psychology. Next one is a social anthropologist. That's a gentleman. And another gentleman is a gynecologist and a social commentator. And of course, the host of the program is, of course, an attorney at law. So we got a very sophisticated perspective on this very complex issue. But look, we're disappointed in the discussion. Again, there's a lot of deflection. There's not a lot of shying away from the core issue. A lot of cowardice on display. And throughout the 1 hour program, and about half an hour of it was spent on the discussion, there was not one single solitary moment in the discussion when any of the commentators and the guests had the I was going to say balls, but had the cojones to lay the blame squarely where it ought to lie. On the carelessness, first of all, and then the downright wickedness and the deception of the Jamaican women who continue to give the most jacket in the entire world. None of these sophisticated people brave enough to call the spade. What you get is a lot of them skipping around the issue. We hear, oh Lord, you know, we have to be careful how we break the bonds. We have to be careful how the emotional attachment. We have to dig deeper into the reasons why these things happen. We can't just blame one person. We have to look at the whole social and the whole sociological impact of their lives and what this might do to the children. One bag of bullshit. None of them, not one single solitary person at the hour when we listen to the discussion, was brave enough and honest enough to say, come on, man, these women need to stop this. Here's one part of the discussion that it came up that there are two types of paternity fraud. You know. One of them is deliberate, and the next one, they call it misalignment. That means that one of them, the woman knowingly.
Responding to emails takes time, but not with Grammarly. In a few clicks, Grammarly's generative AI
give a man the picnic where she knows she enough him. The other one now is when she don't know she enough him, but she give. None of them identify say that woman who don't know who her pick the father is a careless woman, you know. Or if you have unprotected sex with so much people in this day and age that you don't know which one of them are your baby father. They tell us, you know, so one time they do a video on that channel here. Say the world is a world of hypocrites, you know. The more and more we delve into this world here and delve into the issues of humanity, you realize say most people are hypocrites, you know. Most people are hypocrites. You see, people who don't like hypocrisy like me, we are the minority. When people can handle hypocrisy and people who generally like call a spade are people like me, you know. They get in trouble and you lose a lot of friends and you rub people wrong because you like to call a spade and you like to talk truth. None of these people that I listen to for the 1 hour talking about paternity fraud and the fact that Jamaican women, it is documented, scientifically proven that Jamaican women are the most deceptive creatures on the face of the earth when it comes to man-woman relationship. They're afraid to talk the truth. They find all kind of deep-seated, sophisticated, nuanced reasons to talk around the issue, but don't hit the core on the head. There is, of course, the suggestion of mandatory DNA testing right when they pick the bond. No surprise, all of them shut it down. Say no. It will cause violence on the women and violence on the children. And no.
Whoa.
A lot of men actually want to have a child and can't have a child.
So you see, the classic women not taking accountability in this case. Because how can they argue that giving a man a jacket is somewhat them doing the man a favor? Because some man want a child and no, you know, you're gonna mess up the kids. You know what mess up the kids? Not having them know who their real father, or in this case their father, is. That's what messes up the kids. There are many studies out there that show that a man not being the child's life, that child is less balanced. That child is like a ticking time bomb in society. All the scientific research shows that when a child is grown up by a single father versus a single mother, there is a big difference, and it does not favor the single mothers. And if we are honest about our society right now, I'm not saying that the women are to be blamed. However, the fact of the matter is there's a lot more single parent homes on the mother side. And look at our society. I'm just saying, the importance of a man cannot be understated. So the real father of that child, as long as that child's father is alive, they should know their real dad. Now, if the woman is honest with the man and let him know, listen, I messed up. I cheated on you, and there's a possibility that this is not your child. Well, I will tell you that maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 men might still forgive that woman, because you know, as horrible as some women make men sound, especially Jamaican men, a whole heap of Jamaican men take care of jacket and them know it, you know. A lot of them are taking care of kids that are not their own, because Jamaican men are not so bad. You understand? And that's a fact. A lot of Jamaican men are doing that. Some of them is not even sleeping with the woman them, but because of who they are as men, they are taking care of children out there. And they are not highlighted, because women, well, not all women, but a lot of women love to paint men in the most negative way, shape, or form. But these statistics is not something that they can run around. You understand? 1 in every 2 women in Jamaica. Me afraid. Me I tell you that right now. I am scared out of my mind. And Nigeria is a second best. Nigerian women, I am sorry and I apologize. I want nothing. Absolutely. Why would I leave Jamaica and go to Nigeria to look at a woman when they are second in command in giving man jacket? Why would I do that? I'm already in a crazy space right here. So guess what? I need to pray to God and ask God to deliver a good woman to me. Because the chances of me getting a jacket is 1 in 2. More than 50% chance of dealing with a Jamaican woman. And that is the facts. And it's a crying shame, ladies and gentlemen. It's a crying shame. But anyway, I will not be belaboring that point or going any further. The statistics speaks for themselves. I'm sure the comment section will be going crazy. You know, yeah. Let me know what y'all think about the jacket situation in Jamaica getting out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and as bad as things are, the Jamaica Labour Party. I think he mentioned it. There's a member of the Jamaica Labour Party that is responsible for this portfolio, and he suggested that there should be. I think he's the Speaker of the House. What's his name again? He was in a lawsuit. Oh, here he is. This dude right here. I don't take tea with him, to be honest with you. But hey, give him props. He has called out the fact that there needs to be mandatory DNA testing. And I'm asking myself the question, why would women oppose to this? This is how wicked the woman them is. And listen, any woman that opposed to mandatory DNA test are no wicked. I'm not take back my talk. Because you guys want to entertain the possibility of a man getting a jacket. Right? And putting that man and that child, several different people in trauma. The man we are there with, the real father, and the picnic are picnic them. Uno wicked. Uno forgot prison. Mandatory DNA testing, definitely 100%. Just like when they walk out, the man them got code for child for child support. Yes, mandatory DNA testing. If it's found that you are lying about that man being the father of the child, you forgot prison. And some compensation needs to be given back to the man them. Just like only take money from the man them for make sure say they might take care of their responsibility. Only need to give back the man them their money. You can imagine a man, a child, and people are going to say, oh, Bolo, you sound harsh. No. The woman, them wicked. We do this. Them wicked, man. I am not harsh. They are wicked. And we need to tell the truth. The harsh truth. The unfiltered truth. The non-apologetic truth. The women that do this is wicked. 40 years a man live before him know the truth about him father. To the point that the man break down in tears, and you think there's many more stories that is more horrifying than that one. The emotional damage of the man them got through. You understand what I say? This is terrible. It's terrible. But this man right here, and I don't think the opposition opposes to it either. And I don't think they should. This something is a real issue in Jamaica that needs to be addressed expeditiously. As soon as possible. Mandatory testing, man. So we can know, alright, Bridget, a year, pick this, you know. So now you have to take full responsibility. In your heart and mind, and I have no doubt. So this child is yours. Okay? Good. And we can do the right thing for our children at that point. Simple as that. I know women are supposed to inner them feelings because a man want to make sure that yeah, you're tested. We know this is our child. Yeah, no woman should be no good woman, no virtuous woman should oppose to this. When you hear the statistics, you should not be opposed to this. And Mr. If you really if you could be a fly on the wall when women are speaking about these issues, you would know how wicked some of them Jamaican woman is. Yes, the boy have money and this one have none, so I give him that pit there. They think like that. Them wicked. They forgot prison. And I rest my case. Tell me what I think in that comment section.